Hi everyone, welcome back to Swiss Home Garden, Chitra here. I present this video with a heavy heart from Zurich. I'm doing this video in response to some of the kind messages I received on my Facebook page from some of my followers. I wanted to share with you the situation that we are also facing in Switzerland. Officially, we are not in curfew, but all the schools and many of the smaller and medium businesses have a total shutdown till the 19th of April. We are trying to stay positive during this time and trying to get back to the basics like going out in the sunshine, walking and doing some gardening and prepping at home. A couple of days back, we wanted to take a drive to the business district in Zurich and also walk around the main street Bahnhofstrasse. We wanted to see for ourselves the state of our beloved city. Let me take you through this reality and give you some reflections in this video. This is our drive to the city center. It is pretty much empty. You do see people going about their business, but it's not the beehive of activity because this is the heart of the city. This here is the river Limmat, and just across here is this old building, and this is our city museum. It's called Landesmuseum. This is the main railway station over here, Zurich Hauptbahnhof. So we are driving through the city, although there was some parking around the open parking area, but they were kind of cordoned off and there were still a lot of cars parked. And we parked in this parking lot. It is Urania, just about 5 minutes walk to this main street, Bahnhofstrasse. For all practical reasons, Zurich is actually the business and the financial capital of Switzerland. Political capital is Bern. In my almost 25 years of living in and around Zurich, I haven't seen the heart of the city so empty. This was on Thursday and the weather was also extremely cold. We are still in winter. It's not yet spring. It was extremely cold and windy. I went on 2 separate occasions, the first time with my husband and daughter, and I also went again on Friday afternoon because I couldn't get many good footage and also I wanted to make some photos. Bahnhofstrasse is such a beehive of activity on any given day, and it is also one of the world's most expensive and exclusive shopping avenue. Can you imagine what would happen to the economic situation when all the major business centers here shut down for almost 5 weeks? We wanted our daughter to experience what an economic collapse looks like because this will go down in history as an economic collapse or a depression bigger than the one that happened in 1929 and the 30s. I don't want to be beating around the bush and giving you the official narrative of this economic collapse. This was to be expected since many years and we were warned by many world top economists. We couldn't go on further with the way it was, and this is a major reset, but it is being pandered to us in a different way. I wish I could sound more positive, but the realities far outweigh false optimism that many of us may have. Luckily for me, I don't have to be explaining too much to my daughter because also her teacher explained to her why they had to close the school. Her school is a small school and her teacher explained it in a way a 10-year-old could understand, saying that the banks had no money and that we are facing economic collapse. I'm glad her teacher told the truth because when kids do grow up, they can easily put two together and know that they have been lied to. And I have not also made a big secret of anything to her. you will be seeing a lot of trams still plying around the city, but they have reduced the tram frequency and the train frequency. This one here is Yelmoli, a very big shopping complex. And over there with the key symbol is the UBS bank. Here is the Annahof, where we have the Coop City and the Coop big shopping mall. I mean, you can get basically anything for your home and including food. The only stores that were open were which were selling food and essentials and apotheques or pharmacies. Although there were some construction work still going on, there was not much activity otherwise. This small street leads to Renweg. That's also one of the most expensive real estate area with smaller boutiques and smaller shops and hotels. When we walk further along, you see some of these big names and big businesses. They probably could survive this crash, but the smaller ones will be wiped out. It was actually very depressing to see this empty street. It is usually full of people. Even the trams were empty, there were hardly any people in it. Because it was empty, usually I never walk in between these courtyards. I could just take a walk here and I found this beautiful fountain. We are now approaching Paradeplatz. Now this is the major banking center where the big banks like UBS and Credit Suisse are located, and there are also many more smaller private banks operating internationally over here. Now this location is called Bürkliplatz. Across Bürkliplatz is Lake Zurich. I took some time staying in Lake Zurich to reflect on the whole situation for a few minutes and just enjoy nature and these beautiful swans. I'm now walking back towards Zurich main railway station. There is some activity there, but it's not as crowded as it was. You will also be seeing here a homeless person. Yes, there are homeless people also in Switzerland. It's not all like how it is projected. There is a lot of poverty here too, but it is just a little bit hidden. And I fear that this economic depression will wipe out the middle class everywhere in the world and contribute to more homeless people. Switzerland has a very good social welfare system, but this system is already abused at the cost of the taxpayers. Many of the smaller companies will be wiped out, contributing more and more welfare cases. Already, with a bilateral agreement with the EU, many of the qualified Swiss who are above 50 have lost their jobs steadily over the last few years. The KMU, or it is also called as Mittelstand in Germany, is actually the backbone of our countries here. But they will be wiped out, and many of these employers were actually crying to some of the politicians because they had to let go so many thousands of employees. They can't even survive a week's closure, let alone 5 weeks of total shutdown. Personally, I have not been in an illusion of how this will all pan out, but I'm trying to be optimistic and see how it all goes. We have also seen in our personal life a lot of difficulties, just as anywhere else in the world. It's not all what I project on the videos. We also have our difficulties and challenges to maintain our life here. Some of you may think that Switzerland is a rich country, but there is also dirt hidden nicely. Granted, it's better organized and better governed than most of the countries in the world, but as everywhere, one has to scratch the surface to see the holes in it. On this note, I will be concluding this video. I hope we all get over these difficult times lying ahead of us. Wishing you all very good health and a speedy recovery from this economic disruption. We are trying our best to stay positive by gardening, taking walks in the countryside, and helping our daughter with the homeschooling and distant learning. The school will be breaking anyway for Easter vacations next week. And I wish all my subscribers and viewers the very best from my heart to tide over these tough times. If you're new to my channel, kindly subscribe. I generally post one new video every week on food from scratch, Swiss country living, gardening, and natural recipes. Until next time, bye-bye.